Okay, for the faint among you who are a little bit fearful of damaging something when you're working on a car, I have just replaced this switch on my 1995 Toyota Avalon. It was a little bit daunting for me at first. Watched a couple of videos. There was nothing specific to my particular car, but there's a lot of general information out there. So if you're working on a 95, and I imagine maybe a 96, I think they're fairly similar. The ignition switch is right here. It's not on the column, so it's a little more difficult to get to. But what I wound up having to do was I removed this panel first, which was up underneath the dash. You can see there's a place for a 10 millimeter bolt there and a 10 millimeter bolt there. And then once I did that, these little clips here and over here just popped right out. So you got to take that out first, and then underneath that is some type of a panel. I don't know, maybe for strength or rigidity or something in a crash maybe. But again, this is up underneath here this way, like this, and then there's another 2 bolts here and over there, right here. So once I got those 2 things out of the way, if you look up underneath the dash, I had to get the ring that holds, the little plastic ring that is the light. So I wound up having to remove this whole section of dash here. Okay, this whole panel around here had to be removed. Sorry for my crazy video. I'm sitting in the car doing this. Anyway, the way that comes out, I was a little bit fearful with all these buttons that I was going to damage something, but the only thing that stays connected once you remove this whole panel is this hazard light, the hazard button for the flashers. There's a little connection on there for some wires that you can either disconnect or leave on. I just chose to leave it on. But what you wind up having to do is, right up underneath here, there's a little tab that you put a flat blade screwdriver and lightly pry it there, and again right up over here. So you release those 2, and then there's one back over behind here that needs to be released. That one's a little bit trickier, a little bit stiffer, but it you know, with a little work in it, it comes off, and this whole piece comes out, and then you have access to be able to remove that plastic ring. That's pretty self-evident. There's 2 little clips on the top. You need to just kind of separate those, and the plastic thing just pulls right off. And then once you're ready to do that, my key switch here, even when I put it in the accessory position, would come out. so I had some problems with that. Usually once you go from lock to accessory, you can just push. There's a little tab up underneath here. This little tab right here, that releases it from its position in the column, or in the dash. So I'm not sure if I'm going to try and get this to where you can see. Okay, if I'm just going to put this in the accessory position, and then that allows this button to release. If it's not in the accessory position, this button will not push up. So the problem with mine was I could turn it from lock to accessory, but I couldn't turn it to on or start. It was just, I guess the cylinders inside there are all bound up. But once you do that, there's a little place, and I'll show you right up underneath the dash here. You can actually see it fairly well. That little spot right there, right up in here. If I can find it with the screwdriver while I'm looking. Okay, right up here. You just push that up, but the key, again, it has to be in the accessory position in order to release that button. And once I release that button, I got a pair of pliers, grabbed the cylinder, and it pulled right out. And then it's basically just reversing the same thing. The key that you're installing has to be in the accessory position. Push it in, and you'll have a little resistance toward the end there, and then it'll just snap in place, and you're done. Then just reverse the whole process. Put that dash panel back in here. I'll be installing this plate here first, and then I will install that, and I am done. Hope that helps some people that have a 1995 Avalon. for specific information on how to replace that key switch. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.